There's a third one. Oh, what do we got? Take a look at this.
Kenneth Arnold, lights flashing, 47 saucers passing, Roswell crash, Debris field, Ramey memo half revealed, Project Sign, Project Grudge, Cold War skies, the radar buzz, Blue Book files locked away, Men in Black say no one saw a thing today.
Watch closely as a different U.S. drone drops a Hellfire missile on that fast-moving orb. The missile appearing to bounce off the object.
Foo Fighters, World War II, Nazi discs, the rumors grew. Operation Paperclip, V2 rockets, secret ships, Maury Island fragments fall, Flatwoods monster standing tall. Every decade, every night, something strange is in the sky. And Space Command, still no one quite understands. For every secret government file, another witness walks a mile to say, I know what I saw tonight, and the truth is sitting out of sight. Tic-tac dancing near the fleet, says it moves too neat. Howdy-I-dip, digging through the past. Wilson memo leaks at last. Eric Davis briefing notes. Kraft retrieved, the rumor floats. Congress asked, reveal the proof. Whistleblowers raise the roof. NASA study, hearings loud, disclosure.
Hello folks, we're going to get straight into it tonight. So we're going to watch the William Tompkins. We're going to go straight through that interview, stop and pause when we need to, have a little discussion when we need to. It's important we go through these old interviews, especially with some of the things he speaks about and the Epstein stuff that's been coming out recently. It's needed. So let's go straight into it. Let's go to, which screen is it? This one? There we go.
And they immediately structured and organized to the people on this planet.
Okay.
They don't know there's extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
They don't know that there's not just one of them. Maybe we've got thousands. Maybe we got billions of extraterrestrials. The latest number, just recently, we doubled the number again. We now have 200 trillion galaxies out there.
Bobby Ray Inman, was he alive then? I don't even know.
He was just a kid then.
So he wasn't.
But Bobby Ray Inman later on became.
Evening, Angela. So this is just a late night live, and it's to go through the William Tompkins stuff. I think it's important we speak about this one because this is some of the stuff he speaks about connects a little bit to the Epstein stuff and about this planet not being ours. You know, it's basically run by sadistic, evil fucking people, and we're going to go through it.
The number one
Yes.
admiral.
Still is.
Yeah.
My throat is a bit better. My chest is still a bit coughing up phlegm and shit like that, so I'm not fully recovered yet. I've had a few days off work. I'm back in work on Sunday, but yeah, should be okay. Fighting fit.
But I'm just saying, at 26 years, he ran with the ball.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
And he knew what he was talking about. So they watched this event, and they immediately structured and organized this group of people, pulling in all of the top scientists they could pull them in, put them inside a secret area, inside of an aircraft company. He put this organization together, which ended up being a major organization later on studying extraterrestrial and is still studying it.
So are you saying that was the beginning of MJ-12?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot, and I am here today with a very honored guest.
That reminded me then of someone going, "Hi, I'm Karen Cassidy. I am not being told to say these things, but you know, I am here under my own will." Fucking hell.
Actually, I should say guess, but Michael Schratt is joining us, and he's going to be helping.
Michael Schratt. Speaking of Michael Schratt, we have an interview. An interview's up on my channel. It's a few months old now with Michael Schratt. Look how young he looks there.
To ask some good questions to our very honored guest, and this is Bill Tompkins, and he is a phenomenal individual and a very courageous individual, and it's rare when you get someone like this who will come forward and tell the truth, and we've been waiting a long time for this, let me say that. So Michael Schratt is an aerospace historian, and very happy that he's here with us today. He has a very thorough background in aerospace history, and so that's going to be a lot of help, actually. You may disagree with me, but I think you might be the first witness to come forward in the area of the secret space program, black projects, and who is actually, in a sense, sanctioned, being backed up by a section of the military, I would say. Now, I don't know if you'd see it like that. I certainly know you're backed up by the Nordics, but I'm talking earthly civilization here. And I think in that case, maybe the Navy is behind bringing you forward, but I don't know if you're actually willing or even able to elaborate on that. But go ahead.
Well, actually, it's sort of a situation where I'm still involved with the Navy, and I'm actually...
Can we just get the elephant out in the room? Done. That's a wig, right? That is definitely a wig. He's gone. Okay, back to it.
Having to participate in naval programs. So I'm going to discuss as much as I can. You're going to hit me with some questions, and I won't be able to answer. So I think the easiest way to just start this is to go back to 1942. Actually, for whatever reason, I was selected by some people in the Navy, Naval Intelligence, to essentially be assigned a program to discuss the U.S. Navy secret space operators who have been operating in Germany, trying to understand the tremendously complicated agreement between the SS and the Draco Reptilian group who were assisting Germany. So this had actually gotten...
I know it's late at night in the UK. Put your TV on the telly, lie down in bed, chill out with me and watch this for an hour and a bit. Just over an hour. Let's go through it. We'll stop where we need to, talk about things we need to. But other than that, it won't be more than an hour and a half and stuff like that to go through it. It's just important to get this up there on the channel because it's prominent and what's been going on recently and what he speaks about. We're going through it at the minute and you'll know what I mean.
Started much earlier with a very lovely young lady in Germany who was contacted by Nordic people to essentially get her friends to develop the necessary requirements to build a large space transport, get their friends and the family to join into this and essentially leave the planet and go to another star's planetary system.
And this is Maria Orsic.
That's correct. And so she actually was doing this from like the late 20s, 1930s. And it ended up in the studies that I got involved in with the information from the operatives in Navy operatives coming back from Germany into Admiral Ricobata's secret conference room at the top building, Naval Air Station San Diego. He's commander, Naval Air Station San Diego, but he has a hobby, okay? And this hobby is roughly 28, 29 naval operatives who in 1942 and possibly early in 41 were continually going back to Germany and studying all over the different research organizations what it was that the agreement had actually been made with Hitler, the SS, and the Draco Reptilian people.
Okay, but if this is happening in 41 or 42, the war is not over.
The war is still on. But this young lady that we're talking about had been contacted by Nordic people to help her get an organization together with a great deal of extraterrestrial assistance to design a propulsion system, design a vehicle large enough to carry 40, 50.
Just need to say as well, I am 3 subscribers away from 10,000 subs. Hopefully I can hit it in this live. Thank you. This could be the 10,000 sub live.
1,000 people get in this vehicle and leave the planet. Now the SS was not aware of this. When they found out about this, they took over a group of 1,442 people, which included scientists, it included shoe salesmen, it included farmers, it included top research technicians. All these people were contacted by the Nordic extraterrestrials to assist people in Germany to get a vehicle built. So now we have a whole lot of civilians, nothing to do with the military, and with absolutely no desire to have the military involved in this extraterrestrial event, okay? Real important. When the SS found out what they were doing, they took over everything that she had structured and organized, all 1,443 people. They had been hawking their farms. They had been getting everything they could possibly get in the way of money to design and build massive size spacecraft transports. That's not what the SS wanted. So they took over this facility and they jumped in and grabbed everything. After only 2 months, Hitler made the decision, let her and her organization go ahead with what they're doing. We're going to be working with the Draco Reptilian group. So now we have two groups that we can get, and we can cut into them anytime we want. We can take it over again anytime that it was necessary. So actually, they allowed the...
This guy reveals a hell of a lot just in this interview. And he even holds back, like you'll see, he doesn't want to go there because he thinks that people will say, no, you'll get to it in a minute. So they'll get to a point where they're asking him questions and he's like, I don't really want to talk about it because if we get there, your audience are going to say, this is fucking insane, and they're going to shut off from the UFO topic thinking everything's bullshit because what I'm saying they're not going to believe, it's too far out.
The second time for this group to design and build these spacecraft transports.
Is this actually live? There's your answer. Yes, it's live. I am live. So it was backed up by Gary McKinnon. Yes, it was backed up by Gary McKinnon. There's a lot of things that have been backed up that Gary McKinnon has been backed up by as well. Yes, this is live. It's going to be live until this interview is finished. It's a watch along. I'll be stopping and starting as we go through certain parts. But basically, I also want you to put it into people's minds again because it's a really important interview. And a lot of the stuff that he doesn't want to talk about, we're seeing in these Epstein files. And I do genuinely believe that a year, maybe 12 to 18 months from now, we're going to look back at this time. I'm going to say the Epstein files, these leaks were a slow disclosure of catastrophic disclosure. Because once we get to actually what was going on with the children, everything like that, it's going to turn into catastrophic disclosure. And where it goes from there, who fucking knows? I have my own opinions on that and where it was going to go. I just hope the people that we think are trying to drag this out there are actually trying to drag it out there, and when they aren't on the same side and we're being played.
With which many of them later on, even during the war and after the war, to leave the planet. Some of them went out and came back. They actually had large facilities that they utilized as in underground facilities in Antarctica. The Draco reptilian people had two enormous caverns. And I don't want to get off into that subject now, we can talk about it later. But there are caverns all over this planet which different extraterrestrial civilizations have been using. Yes. Okay, for thousands of years. Mm-hmm. Now, back to the SS. I am 2
subscribers away from 10,000.
What the operatives found was an unbelievable series of situations that literally, when they gave their briefings to Admiral Ricabata, we also have one at least of 3.
So I will pause it to answer some of the questions because I know you want the questions. I don't ask for super chats or anything like that. I think that's a bit wrong when you have to put your super chat in for me to read. I'll always try and read your comments. This is the people's channel, that's why. So yeah, loose farming. It seems they want to put us on a negative field, and they want to, and we are on a negative. I'm depressed all the time, fucking stressed out. Whatever worry you can think of, I'm, as a father of 5 and stuff like that, I'm going through that, right? And I'm sure a lot of yous are. A lot of the people that are into this topic are people that are looking for an escape route. When they're thinking, I hope this is true because we've got a little out thing there. That if aliens are here, they might save us. The technology might save us. And I think a lot of the people that go to this topic are people that are desperate and are depressed and stressed, and they want something other than the world we're seeing. The reality we live in, they want something different to that. And I'm one of you. I'm one of you brothers and sisters. Listen to me. I'm totally on it. 27 years, 28 years researching it. I did a video yesterday on 1997 being a proper significant year for the UFO topic and for playing on people's emotions. And just to give a little clarity on that, you got the alien interview tape that year, you got the Hale-Bopp comet, you got Heaven's Gate, you've got the Phoenix Lights, you've got Mike Tyson biting someone's ear off, you've got Princess Diana's death, you've got Mother Teresa's death, and that's just a little bit of it. It was an insane year. Every single month, every single week, it seemed like something was pulling on the planet's emotions, right? And that, for me, that was a pivotal year, and it might be for you as well. I'm 39, I'm 40 next month. So if you're around my age, you will remember that year in your own little way. But I didn't know Mother Teresa died in that year. So yeah, whatever it is, the world is at a point where we are miserable, depressed. The world being from the UK, I feel like my own country's being taken over at the minute, and we're being ignored, and it just seems like a silent invasion of our country on beliefs that do not fit this country. That's all I can say on it. That they do not fit this country. It's as simple as that.
Other Navy captains in his office at the time of this briefing to sort of set the stage for this.
Okay, can I get the year that they did the briefing with Rick Abada?
1942.
I just want to say thank you so much. I've just hit 10,000 subscribers. Thank you. I will do a video on it, but thank you so much, people, for the people that have just subscribed right now.
Still during the war.
Still during the war.
Incredible. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Admiral Rick, well, there was a large table. The operative sat on the other side of the table. Admiral Rick Abada sat here, I sat next to him, and one of the 3 Navy captains sat next to me. The typist sat at the end of the table. That's the only people that were in there. We always had the same people. Essentially, all of these meetings, all of these disclosure meetings took place at night. The Admiral's aide would wake me up, sleeping in my barracks. He tapped me on the shoulder, and all he said was, "He's here." He escorted me across the facility over to this tall building, which is the command center at Naval Air Station San Diego. There's a small office near the top of this. That's where these disclosure meetings took place. So these operatives then brought back this information, which is, even Admiral Rick Abada said, "I don't believe one word you're saying, young man." That came up over and over.
Okay, can I ask you the name of the other Navy captain, or are we not to know who that is?
Actually, I have to say I can't remember it right.
There is a point in this interview where he does come across a bit arrogant, and I like it, but I don't like it the way he says, "I know about this more than you." And then straight after that he says, "You know what I'm talking about and what I don't want to discuss." Well, clearly she knows just as much as you then, if that's the case. That really did sort of piss me off a little bit, like he's arrogant. If he'd have ever said that to me, I'd have ripped that wig right off his head. Right off his head. Because I don't, even though he knows a lot, I think a lot of us know this as well through research. You've been researching it for a long time. I just think there's a way to speak to people. If you know something more than someone, you have to approach that in a way where you don't come across as big-headed and fucking arrogant, unless they're being absolute pricks. And this woman isn't being a prick. Michael Schrapp, he's a fantastic researcher, and you need to check out the interview that we did with him, where he goes through. It's like a PowerPoint thing where he goes through a lot of things, and there's actually a part 2 coming, but we've got part 1 already up on the YouTube channel
Right now, so that gets me out of it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
But I really don't remember.
Okay.
Okay. But these operatives themselves didn't believe some of the information that they had to bring back, and so all they tried to do as best they could is present a package of information. Some of it even had manuals, okay? Some of the manuals were in hieroglyphics. All of the manuals were in German. Then they had photographs taken inside of research facilities in Germany. They had photographs of UFOs. They had photographs of maintenance people working on UFOs. They had photographs inside of the UFOs.
Okay, now I want to ask you something, because these operatives, you're calling them operatives, were these regular human beings, and how were they getting access to Germany at this time to get this information? Was this something that they were allowing the Americans to have? What was the relationship?
Okay, basically,
Were they spies?
all of these young men were either lieutenant JGs or full lieutenants in the Navy's intelligence. These people were all American-German family people. All of these fellas knew Germany. They even knew all the accents in different areas in the surrounding countries. These are beautiful guys who are dedicated themselves to be essentially spies for the U.S. Navy.
Okay.
Now, this was totally unaware with the Air Force.
All right.
Everything that I'm talking about is on the Navy side of what took place way back then.
Right.
Okay? So these operatives would bring back photographs of the different vehicles. They would bring back data, sometimes documents, all in German, and or some of it in what was then considered to be the closest thing was to be.
Who wants to be a moderator for my channel for my 10k? I'll look for 2. If you want to do it, put it in the comments.
Essentially hieroglyphics that we found later on underneath the pyramids. Okay? So that's the best description I can give you of what some of the data was. Obviously, this was information that was not given to Germany by extraterrestrials using English language, where otherwise many meetings that took place later on with extraterrestrials, they could give you the information in 10 or 20 different languages. But that's not what we got, okay? So they would actually attempt to tell this panel everything that they were able to find and what was most important. And we then would take that information, and I had 11 or 12 young ladies who could take this information, which the first girl typed, run copies of, and then put together different, what they called packages, which essentially were proposals, okay? These proposals then were then to be disseminated around the United States in secret facilities. Now, I want to make one point very clear here. Actually, what was on the Rinse radio program last night was a document that actually was put together later at Douglas, because Douglas got one of these packages. I personally took it to Santa Monica Douglas as one of the first of 4 top, not aerospace, aircraft companies, which became aerospace later on. Remember, everything...
He said underneath the pyramid, didn't they? Just come out with rods underneath the pyramid. They come out with something underneath the pyramid. It's not been confirmed what it is, but it's looking exciting. Are you referring to what William Tompkins said about that? Go on, throw me the wrench. You want the wrench? You want to be okay?
What we're talking about here, I don't know how to make this clear. You're trying to decipher, you're trying to understand not just other extraterrestrial people information, but everything that you're getting is totally unreal to every single PhD on the planet. I have to say, people don't realize what took place in 1942 in the Naval Air Station at San Diego. This is unbelievable. And it's not just a statement of unbelievable. You could...
Okay, so Angela and Skywatch Signal, you are my new mods. Standard mods.
Couldn't understand it. When the documents were then taken, and I had to use one of the 2 airplanes that Admiral Ricobata had. He had a twin-engine Lockheed Electra, which we used to fly back in the eastern part of the country to laboratories and naval bases. And then he had a 7-passenger high-wing single-engine plane, which we flew to Douglas and into Lockheed, out on the desert to the Navy facilities out there. So we put together rough information, and I want to try to explain what that information was. All it consisted of was a typed version of what the operative said, copies of that.
Okay, now I'm going to stop you there and ask you, Riccobotta and yourself, can we get a little background on why you two guys were so instrumental in this process? Now, I know something about you from reading your book, and I want to highly recommend his book. It's fascinating. But I do want to share with the audience here, you know, Riccobotta, you told me on the phone, I think you said he was Australian and he wasn't trained in America. Is that right?
Yes, and you're asking a very important question, okay? What you're asking, it's extremely important. We're going to have to step back our thinking here to the people on this planet.
Okay.
They don't know there's extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
They don't know that there's not just one of them. Maybe we've got thousands. Maybe we got billions of extraterrestrials. The latest number, just recently, we doubled the number again. We now have 200 trillion galaxies out there. And to say that we're the only intelligent people in this universe is naive. But the people on this planet were tremendously naive. They had no idea what these naval operatives brought back to what essentially was my delivering of these packages to the 4 top airplane companies, because there wasn't aerospace. Now, back to your specific.
Is she the daughter of Harold Malgrim? No, that's not her anyway.
Who was Admiral Riccobotta? He was born in Australia. He came to the United States, went to school, joined the Navy as a third-class seaman. He worked his way up. Now, what's extremely important about this is that my mission statement
I think his daughter's called Pippa Malgrim or something like that.
Working for Admiral Riccobotta was as disseminator of advanced aircraft research, okay? That was my
I'd say just a quick one, just introduction. So my granddad was a spiritualist, right? And for years, he's dead now. He died in his 90s. He died back in just before COVID kicked in, right? And for decades, he had these tapes, these cassette tapes. And during the 90s and the early 2000s, my dad would bring these home, my mum would bring these home, and they'd listen to them at night. And I'd be a child, and I wouldn't pay much attention to them. But they were like ghost tapes, like capturing ghosts and stuff like that on cassette tapes, right? So I used to speak to my granddad as I got a little bit older in 19, 20, 21, stuff like that. I was like, so aliens and stuff like that. He's like, they're not aliens. They're interdimensional beings and stuff like that, and dimensions and beings. And at the time I was like, what are you talking about, man? He's fucking on one, you. He's right. He was totally right. And he was telling me there's one tape, and I've not got it yet. It's in my Auntie Karen's, she's got it, right? And they won't give it me because they know I'll share it. And it's important, apparently. And this tape is apparently a line of planets, and we're one of the lines, and we're one of the weakest links in this planet chain. And it speaks about massive floods, the end of the earth and stuff like that, and when it's coming and stuff like that. And it's on a cassette tape, and I need to get that. And yes, I am going to share it. And that's the concern the family have, that I will just flippantly share it. And yes, I'm going to do that because I think it's important, and I think I'm. There's a reason I feel that I need to get this tape, but for some reason my family don't think I should have this tape, so there's a bit of a thing going on there.
My mission statement, working for Admiral Riccobotta, was a copy of 80% of his statement, who was written by the Secretary of the Navy Forrestal.
And these tapes, by the way, from the 70s and the 80s, and around a table and all that thing, stuff I didn't believe in. But now it's obvious it was true, some of this stuff, and my granddad was right. It is interdimensional thing, the beings and stuff. He used to say interdimensional, never mention the word aliens. It's interdimensional, it's dimensional beings. Always dimensional beings. I did not understand it at the age of 21 at the time. I'm 40 next month, so it tells you the difference.
Okay? The Nordics contacted Forrestal. I'm saying this, you don't believe it, this is what happened. They contacted Forrestal and had Forrestal selected to initiate this whole thing in the U.S. Navy. Then Forrestal selects an Australian man.
Is my mic volume better now? Is my mic volume better? Oh, wait. Is that better? Sorry if you couldn't hear that, what I was saying. But basically the tapes, I want the tapes from my granddad from the 70s and the 80s. And I want to play them live to you. And one of them apparently says how the Earth's going to die and stuff like that.
Two-star Admiral Ricabata to be the one person to disseminate this data that our Navy intelligence found out what was going on in Germany. And this is staggering because at that time, people don't realize that there's more than one admiral in the Navy. At that time, there was 43 because there's so many areas that need support. Secretary of the Navy Forrestal selected a man who never went to Annapolis. Listen to what I'm saying. Every PhD on this planet, whether they're for science or for medicine, have been given incorrect information for thousands of years about the history of this, not just this galaxy, the universe. They had been given information which was controlled by Draco, Reptilian, and other extraterrestrials not to know what was really going on. So every book in every university on this planet had misinformation about every field, every technical field you can come up with, okay?
Yes.
So when the operatives had to carry this out, they were not asked to study these packages. They were directed to study these packages. These weren't requests for proposal. This was a demand factor that this information that got typed up in the information in these packages to all of these research universities, to all of the top Navy laboratories, the facilities out at China Lake, the underground facilities at China Lake, Caltech. Actually, I didn't take the first package to Caltech in Pasadena. I took their first package to the underground facilities out on the desert called China Lake. And it's just north of the Air Force facilities off of Highway 395 out in the desert in California. Right. And I'm saying people don't understand or realize or gasp. They don't get what has happened. And I'm not trying to build a story here. All I'm trying to say is, hey people, hey you guys, everybody that's listening to this program, okay? You people have been told for a minimum of 6,000 years total incorrect information. From medical, from science, from history, from astronomy, from mathematics, you name it. Everything you've told.
Yes.
I
really appreciate you. Yes.
This is a lie.
I hear you. It's great. Can I ask you one thing about these operatives who went into Germany to get this information? We know there were spies from your description. But so they were undercover, so to speak.
Yes.
And they must have seen the craft with their own eyes as well,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. Absolutely.
So in some cases they were working on the craft even.
They actually got on board, got inside.
All right.
They took photographs inside, stuck them in some place, and managed to be part of the package that was delivered to Admiral Ricobata.
Incredible. Now, what do you think? First of all, you're telling me Forrester had contact, and his contact was with the Nordics. They chose him. But was Ricobata in contact? Or you said he sat there and just shook his head and said, I don't believe you. So he was not a person who had had any contact himself.
You're referring to Admiral Ricobata?
Yes.
To me, he was selected, period, by the Secretary of the Navy over all of the standard admirals who had been educated in Annapolis.
Because he had an open mind.
He had a mind that would not have been controlled by the misinformation that every university on the planet has given.
Was that your personal take on him when you met him?
No, not when I met him. Later on, this was obvious, okay? But then, who's Billy Tompkins? Why did who selected Tompkins
Yes, exactly.
to be on this committee?
Right.
Because I get pulled out of high school in the first year, halfway through the first year, the Navy pulls me out and puts me through.
What explains the bad wig? Do you know, it's actually a good wig. It's just the outline here. It's just like, they've got everything spot on here, but then they've gone like, we'll just make it obvious, like you look like a cartoon character around this area here.
Boot camp.
And they're going, this is not your hair. This is not your scalp. The same thing he says in a bit about the planet.
And then my orders say, report to Commander so-and-so, Naval Air Station San Diego. I'm only saying, I don't have a doctor's in these degrees that are required for all of these studies.
Right.
I don't have.
Right.
But then my mind wasn't clouded with misinformation like the Admiral. Okay?
Okay, but to get back to you, and this, we've got this setting of this conference table, and you're sitting next to Ricobata, and eventually you deliver out all these packages around the what becomes the secret space program, but the American. And did you take some to Britain?
No.
No.
I only took facilities to United States secret facilities.
All right.
Now, right away, I want to hit you with this, and this is important.
Okay.
Even the document that was on Rinse Radio last night, it's a Douglas document that was put together inside the secret think tank at Douglas, where I went to work many years after the Navy.
I'm not talking to myself, folks. I am live on TikTok as well, trying to get some of the TikTokers over.
Okay, because I work for Northrop and other people. But when I got into Douglas, they put me in this secret think tank. So that document is called, it's a big thick thing, and it has the Douglas logo on the front of it, and it's called Unconventional Propulsion Schemes, okay? And it doesn't have a confidential stamp on it. It doesn't have a secret stamp on it. Everything that we took, I took. I flew in the airplane, in the Admiral's airplane, to Lockheed, to Naval Air Development Center, Warminster, Pennsylvania. I flew to all the top secret facilities. Not one document that was given had classified in any way given to them. Everybody knew it was way above top secret.
Yes.
No document was stamped.
I hear you. Yeah, and I had heard that on one of the other shows. So the idea being that if it wasn't stamped, people wouldn't notice it. They wouldn't make a big deal of it.
Yes.
It would just pass through hands. If anyone whose eyes caught sight of that document accidentally, they wouldn't see it,
Yeah.
so to speak.
But it's an interesting way to handle the most classified
Yes.
subject on the planet.
Absolutely. Well, actually, quite ingenious, really. So again, but I want to get back to you because here you are. You're a kid at this point. I mean, right out of high school.
I'm 18 now.
18. Okay, so you're 18 years old, but they've chosen you. I assume Forrestal and the Nordics chose you. Did you already?
Forrestal, if you don't know who Forrestal is, go and look into the Forrestal. He got thrown out of a building, basically killed. He really should have been the guy. He wanted to be the guy that told everybody the truth, right? When you look into it, James Forrestal, and he was thrown out of a building, it looks like, and killed. When people talk about goals and people that were really fighting for it, he lost his life. He really wanted, I think, to disclose this to the population. He had beliefs. He was a tough man, and it sent him a bit doolally, and I think they knew they had to get rid of him. But when people speak of the goals, I put James Forrestal up there because I think that he's one of them that eventually it will come out where he wanted to do the right thing and he lost his life trying to do the right thing.
Have contact with the Nordics before you went into this program?
Okay, let's go back to February 1942. Okay?
Okay.
They call it the Los Angeles sighting. What took place, actually, my mom was back east, and my dad, my brother, and I had rented a large apartment in Long Beach and California, and this was in a large home that had been broken into 4 apartments. So the second floor actually is 30-foot ceilings down below. So the second floor then is real high.
Okay.
And all the way across the back of this house, it's only 4 blocks from the ocean in Long Beach. All the way across the back is a great big balcony deck. So at about 5:30 in the evening one day in 42, my dad says to my brother and I, who were laying on the floor looking at the newspaper and the magazines, get up and come back here to the deck. So we get up and go out to the deck, and here's this spot, a little spot, okay, just above the trees and just above the rooftops, okay, of the houses that prevent us to see the ocean from this area.
Okay.
A lot of waiting and useless info to get to the stuff that matters. Let's totally disagree with you, pal. Totally disagree with you. Explain what you mean by that first. But that comment, I totally disagree with what you're saying there. If you're saying this is a pointless thing that it's talking about, it's not. You could get straight to it, but you wouldn't understand it if you don't build up to it. But I don't expect you to understand that.
So we're standing there looking at this, and all of a sudden, out of this spot of light came a little beam.
In fact, that was a bit rude of me, right? So what I'll rephrase it. Don't assume, and I've been guilty of this, right? Don't assume that everybody is at your level of research, because I've been guilty of doing that. It's like, for example, look at it as a football way. Paul Scholes went into management at Oldham FC, and he realised that these footballers are shit, they're not at his level, and he quit that club. Not everybody can be at the level you're at, your expectations. It's the same with the UFO topic. I am 28 years deep into this subject. I want the answers now. I'm at the end goal, I feel, with some of the things, and I'm seeing it slowly drip feed out, right? And that really angers me, because I know there's stuff going on with the children, the trafficking, and there's some hideous crimes going on, but we're watching it slowly disclosure. I think we're potentially seeing catastrophic disclosure at the beginning of it, and we're probably going to find out in 14, 18 months from now, whatever. But I'm at the stage now where I have to understand not everybody's at my level. Not everybody's at my research, and I'm not at everybody else's research. Some people may be deeper than me. So you just have to respect everybody, and you just have to go at your own pace and try and get everybody up to speed. And I like to do that by going through some old school videos, because that's the hardest to especially footage-wise. I did a really good video live the other day, which was called The Footage. Make sure to check that out. It goes through some of the best footage you'll see on the UFO stuff. Much better than some of the stuff that's being released now. So, yeah, you just got to be patient. And I think the UFO topic, because we all do our own independent research and stuff like that, some of us think we're better than each other, and I get that, because I was like that. I'm not like that anymore. We just have to understand that I have something to give to this topic, and I will help people, and I've understood that other people with their knowledge and their research will help me connect dots as well. And you've got to work as a team, and that's what we need to work as. So as slow as it is, we have to understand we're all watching for a reason. We're all on the same team here, and we stick up for each other. We don't allow bullies. We don't bully people. We stick up for people.
And it went like that, sort of about that 60 degrees. And we watched that. Then this beam went straight like this. Hit the back of the house, lit up all of the trees, lit up the back, the roofs of all the houses, everything was lit up. And we went back, hit the wall, and then forward and grabbed the railing. Okay?
It's like what you'll see in this in a minute. He says a few things that really pisses me off, but I get it as well. He points to, he goes, I know more about this than you, but then he contradicts himself in the thingy. So again, he's trying to belittle this person that's interviewing him, where I said, if they'd have done that to me, I'd have ripped his fucking wig off his head. But I get it, and I get why he's doing it, but the thing he's talking about, I've come across in my own research. The only thing that's different is he's saying he's had first-hand knowledge of this, when really it's just his own research and own personal experiences that people speak to. It's not real any personal experiences of it. And I think that's what we get muddled up with a lot of the time. It's a lot of people's researches, people arguing their own research against other people's research, and then people debunking stuff from one article to debunk it with another article, and that really angers me when you try and debunk something with an article. Try and debunk an article with another article. What's the difference? We know disinformation. There's 300 debunks to every one bit of truth, so there's going to be more debunking articles out there than there is of truth articles. So really don't make any sense to me, any of this bullshit.
It was gone. It was gone. Okay? So we went back, we had dinner, listened to a show on the radio, went to bed. At about 1:30 that night, all of the anti-aircraft guns started firing. We get up, we run outside, and we look at this great big thing at arm's length. It was that big. It was parked at about 8,000 feet. I'd been a Navy pilot, flew almost everything that the Navy had. I knew what the altitude was. I knew what this thing was. There was 8 searchlights on the bottom of this vehicle. Bang, bang, bang. All these shells were bursting on the bottom of this vehicle.
What are you saying there, Narina? Snail pace, tortoise pace. Yeah, but you've got to go at tortoise pace because you got to tell people a story. Could you imagine, right? And this is a perfect example. This is to TikTokers that are listening as well that ain't come over to YouTube for some reason. You fucking TikTok dicks. So, 20 years ago, and I can say this, 20 years ago, I was telling people there are reptilians, children are being trafficked, and things are being happening to children and potentially being eaten adrenochrome and stuff like that, and I was called an absolute fucking remploy, right? We're now 20 odd years later, and it is more prominent than ever what I was talking about. And I'm not the only person that was discussing this, and I was not the only person that was alienated and made to feel like they're black sheep of the fucking family and stuff like that. There are a lot of fucking deep, dark researching into this and stuff like that. And what you got to do is you got to sit on a lot of the information, and it gets repeated in other people's mouths. And we're seeing it now. If you'd have said that this is going to be spoken about in Congress, you're going to have a congresswoman last year, right? Turn around and say, ask Lou Elizondo, Mike Gold, and Schellenberger, and whoever it was it George Knapp, the other one? Not George Knapp, it was the one before that. That they know about Tim Gallaudet, I think it was, that they know that there's a human hybrid program, and for that to come from the congresswoman and not actually from one of the witnesses that are giving testimony, That was insane. That's like, holy shit, Congress have been told things about human hybrid programs. That was the most compelling thing from the entire Congress hearing. An actual person from Congress, one of the women, I can't remember her, black hair, I just remember being on the left-hand side, saying it. That was the most compelling thing from the entire thing. The other people that wrote books, I'll speak to you in a skiff, but I'll write everything in a book that gets authorised by the DoD to release that. Don't trust. I totally go with AJ from the Y-Files. Do not trust anybody that is in contact with or has come from the intelligence services and stuff like that, which Lou has and many others have. Don't listen to any of them. They're all part of it. And if you write a fucking book, right, and they can release that book, but it has to go through DoD first so they can look through it and say, yes, you can release that, it doesn't mean anything. And I said before Lou's book came out, it's going to mean jack shit, and it didn't mean anything. Don't listen to them people. Listen to the people that lost their lives and wrote books. How about that?
On a continuous basis for an hour and 30 minutes. Just parked right there. Now, all around it, above it, different vehicles were coming. This
This is the Battle of LA you're describing.
This is the Battle of Los Angeles, okay?
But at that time, you were still a kid, right?
Yeah.
The Battle of Los Angeles, that's the one where they were shooting at it, right? And they couldn't shoot it down from the sky.
So you hadn't been a Navy pilot yet.
No.
But now, later on, you were able to remember what you saw and know that it was these...
I knew what the altitude was. I somehow knew this altitude, okay?
Oh, really?
Yes. And later on, I did. I flew almost every plane that the Navy had.
So the craft that you said there was because there's a newspaper picture. I don't know if that's really the real thing.
The newspaper was not a good demonstration of what took place.
All right.
Now, what I'm trying to say
Is what the right thinking, K-Doc?
Evaluating what happened in this sighting, you have to visualize dozens and dozens and dozens of different shaped vehicles. This great big one parked right above you, right over Long Beach, okay? Everybody is outside looking at this and watching it. There's vehicles going on both sides of it. There's vehicles above it, and several times, actually, the vehicle went underneath, and the anti-aircraft gun lights, the searchlights, shined on them and followed them. So this goes on till about 2:30. We get bored. We all go back to bed. Okay? We get bored.
Well,
hold on. Just wait a minute. Hold on. Okay? We get bored.
Yeah.
Now, while this is happening, and it goes on until 5 o'clock in the morning, many of the other people outside, okay, outside watching this from the street,
Yeah.
stayed up all night long.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Better than a movie.
okay, no, wait a minute. Just listen now, on the other side of your planet, at this same time, the Germans were bombing London.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. Holy cats, this is February 1942.
Right.
Okay?
Incredible.
Now, we got bored and went to sleep. Now, I want to make a very important point about the Los Angeles event, the sighting.
Okay.
I have some insane theory on the German stuff and Hitler and Jews and what they were doing with the Black Forest and the Aryan race and what they were trying to do. And when you look at the transcripts and the interpretations of Hitler and his speeches and about the Jewish stuff in Israel, right? And then you look at what's going on now with Israel, it looks like they've got the finger in the pie with a lot of things and they're causing a lot of fucking behind the scenes shit. I think there's something that's going to come out with World War II where Hitler's not going to look as bad as what he's been made to look like. And I know that's insane to think about. And the fact they took 1,600 Nazi scientists, engineers and technicians to the United States to try and stop them from going to the Russians and stuff like that. I think a hell of a lot of shit is going to come out. I've done a lot of research into Hitler and stuff recently. Hitler did not want to go to war with Britain, by the way. I've looked into that. Hitler actually lived in the UK. He used to go and watch football matches in the UK. He actually liked Britain. And he tried to do a deal with Britain for whatever reason in 1939, which was the same year when the 1933 crash got made aware to Mussolini and Hitler. The United States and the UK also were made aware of it in July, and in the 1st September 1939, World War II started. A coincidence. Also a coincidence is it that they took over Magenta, Italy. There's no reason to go to that area of the fucking world to conquer that area. The US and the UK took it. I do actually think Hitler may have survived. I do think he may have gone on to live elsewhere out of the way, for whatever reason. But I think the plan, whatever plan, I just think there's a hell of a lot to come out of it. If it comes out, it's going to shock the fucking world to its core. I really do. And I'm not saying Hitler was the good guy or anything. I'm just saying that maybe I think Hitler was misunderstood.
Nobody got scared. Nobody got nervous. Nobody ran in the house and jumped with the covers over their head, okay? Everybody watched this thing. Nobody got sick. Nobody got real sick, died. There weren't anything of that. The only people that were killed in this were from our own shrapnel. Now, people watched this same sighting, we found out later, from Santa Barbara. People watched it from San Diego.
Sure.
This is a massive group of vehicles. Now, listen to this analysis. You got to tell me.
So what I can tell you is the Germans were working on technology from 1922 to 1933, right? I can show you the images of that on Biblio. There's a website called Bibliotecapades, and it is on there, which shows it goes on about the Black Forest, about the Scrolls, about the Aryans, which leads to the Aryan race ideology that they got into. Yeah, you have to. It's hard to explain it to you. It really is. To say to someone Hitler may not have been as bad as what he said, you're gonna think, shut the fuck up, you idiot. He murdered millions of people through the war. Listen, both sides lost a lot of lives. Listen to the transcripts. Listen to what he said about Britain. He did not want to fight Britain. He did not want to go against Britain. By the way, that wasn't his aim. His aim was against the Jews, right? And all I can say is look at the world now and look who seems to have the finger in the pie in every fucking conspiracy. That is bad. That is bad. It leads to one area.
There's only two ways this could have accomplished what was going on. One, the extraterrestrials vehicle come in over the ocean, okay? Hundreds of them. They go all over Los Angeles. They go to they go to the telescope on Mount Wilson. They make a turn. They either go north.
Yeah, so the Aryans were apparently on their race, they were dying out, the bloodline was dying out, it was telling them how they can create it, and Hitler thought he could recreate on this planet with certain bloodlines, and one of the bloodlines that he wanted rid of were the Jewish people and stuff like that. It gets dark. You can see it from both sides, like Hitler was a bad person for doing that, but then you look at it from now, not the 40s, 2026 now, and you look at his actual thinking of how he actually thought of Britain. We weren't his enemy. We weren't the people he was after. And the things that we're going through now, people say, oh, you'd be German now if we didn't win World War II. Well, that's not true, because he didn't want Britain. He never wanted Britain. Go and listen to his transcripts. He never wanted Britain. He never wanted to go against the United States. For whatever reason, the UK and the US were in bed together, and probably because of Israel and stuff like that. That's why. Yeah, it's not good. I'm not proud of my country, really not.
Or they go south. They fly out to sea, they turn around out over the ocean, and they come back to make you think there's a whole lot more vehicles there than actually there is. They either had to do that, or we watched thousands of vehicles come in over western United States from 1:30 to almost 5 o'clock.
And they shot at them and weren't able to hit them or destroy them in any
The
way?
shells burst on the bottom of them. They're not bursting on the bottom. There's an electromagnetic shield, but the shell hits and it blows up, but it doesn't do any damage. Now, yes, we did shoot down 2 small ones, which were not occupied. One of those went in the ocean only a half a mile off the Rainbow Pier in Long Beach. Your Navy picked that up. So your Navy had an extraterrestrial vehicle in February of 1942.
Okay, so that's before the operatives came back with the information. Because you said in 1942 they had...
Okay. This took place just before I was contacted, pulled out of high school, thrown over to Naval Air Station, North Island. Okay? What this says is that a whole lot of people who were involved in this sighting immediately knew there were extraterrestrials. Now, I want to take this a little further. People who watched this sighting, and this is not, there's documents that prove it, but they haven't been released. 2 Navy admirals, 2 Army Air Corps generals, and an individual whose name is Donald Douglas Sr. Those 5 people were in meetings that evening. They were still in meetings. They watched this whole thing. They watched everything. And bang, extraterrestrials. No cover-up. They're real, okay? So those fellows got together.
Okay.
Just a second. Douglas then put this group together, the 2 admirals, the 2 Army generals, Air Force generals,
Okay.
and they put together a group of people and initiated a secret think tank inside of Douglas, actually within 1 week of the sighting.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
And so, you know, we talk here that this is February 42. 1951, I went to work for that secret think tank inside of Douglas. I had been working for Northrop for 2.5 years. I worked for North American for a short time. I worked for Lockheed for a short time. And then somebody telepathically told me I need to leave Lockheed and I need to go to work over in Santa Monica at Douglas. I didn't read a document that said do that.
Okay.
So I went over and applied for a job as a draftsman. Okay, I'm sorry, not a draftsman, as a model builder of metal wind tunnel models, okay? Because remember, I had built a group of models over quite a number of years.
Yes. But I still, I mean, I want to make sure that we have this, the LA
I'm going to go make a quick sandwich. Carry on watching this, folks.
sighting, the LA, Battle of LA, because that was so amazing. And this is even prior to Roswell.
Yes.
Okay. And in essence, are you able to say who those other people are? Because you said Douglas is one of them. But the other admirals and generals that were in that meeting, that small meeting, watching all of this, who then put the secret think tank together, who they were? Is one Curtis LeMay? I mean...
Yes.
Okay. Bobby Ray Inman, was he alive then? I don't even know.
He was just a kid then.
So he wasn't.
But Bobby Ray Inman later on became the #1
Yes.
admiral.
Still is.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, he, 26 years, he ran with the ball.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
And he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So, okay, but did you know, the Battle of LA is going on, but at the same time, did any of the ETs in that craft, I mean, and do you know which ETs were doing this? Was it the Nordics? Did any of them, you know, teleport down to meet anybody? Was there any reported encounters during
Well,
those
let's go
24 hours?
Let's go back to Douglas Sr., 2 Navy admirals and 2 Army Air Corps generals in a meeting. Okay? They had been in meetings all day long. They were still in meetings.
Right.
Because it's only 7:30. I mean, come on. So they watched this event, and they immediately structured and organized this group of people, pulling in all of the top scientists they could pull them in, put them inside a secret area inside of an aircraft company. Douglas Sr. did this, so you got to give him credit
Yeah, sure.
for this. Now later on, we had a lot of problem with his son in there because he didn't know what was going on. But Senior was brilliant. He put this organization together, which ended up being a major organization later on, studying extraterrestrial, and is still studying it.
So are you saying that was the beginning of MJ-12?
Yeah.
In a word, yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Was Forrestal one of the admirals in
No.
that meeting?
No.
Was Rickenbacker?
No.
Are you able to tell me the other players in that room? What we know the beginning of MJ-12, actually. We know some of these players. Vannevar Bush?
No. I just assumed sort of
Von
sidestep that.
Carmen? I could go on.
Yeah. Okay, I just assumed
All right, fine.
kept
No
that one
problem.
aside.
Okay, so we've got that, but you didn't answer my question. Was anyone having contact? Any
Okay.
high-level people contacted even before the event happened, in fact?
Okay. My understanding on this was that nobody came down, nobody talked to the people that were in these vehicles, but probably thousands of people telepathically got information, okay?
Okay.
So the bells were rung in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
And you were one of them?
I just happened to be one of them, I think. I can't prove it, but somehow,
Well, I mean, this is a good time to ask you. I mean, are there other guys like you? Because you
Oh, yes,
seem
very
to be
definitely.
one of a kind.
yeah, no, there's a lot of other
There's a
people.
lot of guys like you in
Yes.
this secret space program who were somehow contacted and have had special guidance and knowledge on how to build and what to do. Yeah?
Yes, yes.
Others.
Yes.
And have you met them?
Really, I've only met 3 other individuals of what are probably hundreds, okay?
Really?
And
And they're all quiet to this day.
yes. Now, I think one of the thrusts that you probably have, and that many people now are hoping that the disclosure information will get these people to.
Have we gone past the part yet where he said this is not our planet, this is not our thing and stuff like that? Have we gone to that part yet? Or we just, I don't think we have we?
Come out and talk about their involvement.
Sure.
Okay?
Right.
That's what collectively we're all trying to do. Because there's many areas that I don't know about and that I was not involved in, which are extremely important.
Yeah, here's one for you, right? So, without going into it, maybe it's a separate video. Imagine if World War II, when we won the war, the British and the US and Europe, right? What if we didn't actually win the war? What if the people we fought against were actually the good people, and the people that... Let's just keep it that. What if the people we thought were the bad were not the bad? They were actually fighting for the right reasons, and just because we're from the UK doesn't mean we're fighting for the right reasons. You've got to do some research to get to some of the shit I'm trying to get to you there.
And those people working in this subject know this. And they're not just aerospace engineers. These are top physicists in universities, okay?
Okay.
And they're top designers in aerospace companies. And they've had the information put in their head too. But for whatever reason, almost everybody that knows the information has been in some way put in the position that either their family has been threatened, they have been threatened, and they don't want to talk.
Okay, well then before we go on, why are you able to come forward?
Okay,
Who gave you the green light?
Okay, I can't answer that. All I can say is that the easiest way for me to say what I'm saying is my association with 3 Nordic people in Douglas on the Apollo program, okay? I worked with these guys, 2 young ladies and 2 really good-looking Nordic guy.
All right.
And so working with the 3 of them for 3.5 years on the Apollo program, who all 3 denied that they were Nordics. But everybody that was anybody in engineering knew they were, okay? I never said they were. They never said they were. But if you can just try to visualize, I had 170 top engineers on the Apollo program working for me, okay? I was engineering section chief at Douglas. I had, I guess, worked my way up. I come up with approaches and concepts, and I get these implemented by all my designers.
Yes.
Where did some of my ideas come from? I have this very nice looking young lady who never stops kidding. It's fun to go to work. Mm-hmm. She never stops kidding. She's always sticking it in and turning it. And not just that, but she's always stuffing things in my head. Mm-hmm. So, like when I presented this complete redesign of the Apollo program to Dr. von Braun and Dr. Debus at Redstone Arsenal, one of the most classified facilities on the planet.
Yeah.
I had a 6-foot by 6-foot model in a great big box put on the DC-7 to fly down to the Redstone Arsenal, okay?
Yes.
I rented a truck. There weren't inside or closed trucks available. The only one that they had just board sides on it. So here is this great big gray box that could be a nuclear bomb. I drive this thing, and I've never driven the gears on this in my life. I'm in a 3-piece business suit. I'm driving this truck with this bomb box
And
in
you
the
just
back.
drive it onto the base or something,
And
right?
wait just a second. Now, my secretary had told me before I left, I've typed you an authorization as allowance to go on board the base, okay? You're never going to use it, okay? I said, you're gonna,
I do apologise that you're watching me eating. I've got a peanut butter sandwich. I'm fucking starving. It's 10 past midnight. This is why I'm a fat fuck. I'm not a fat fuck, but that's why I've got cholesterol issues anyway, because fucking I like to eat at night.
you're going to get on base and you're not going to have anybody bother you, okay? So yes, I'm driving this truck a long straight road to get to the gates of the base. And she said, I told you before, Billy, telepathically, I'm driving the truck, just keep going. So the gates open, okay?
So great.
Now, off on the right hand, wait a minute.
Great movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
off on the right-hand side is this massive parking area for all of these trucks, all of the people to get on base, go through the security checks. Nobody, it's one of the most classified bases on the planet.
Sure.
And the doors open, the gate opens, and none of the 4 police guards at the office, they didn't pick up their rifles and come out and start shooting. Nobody did. The rifles just stayed by the front door where they stood.
But is this Nordic mind control?
Yes,
Is it?
yes.
Okay.
So,
What are you telling me? You're here because of Nordic mind control today? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, is that what's happening? I mean, are these, you know, top admirals who've been in this game now since 42 at least, are they letting you come here because?
Do you know why I like him a little bit? Because he does remind me a little bit of my granddad. My granddad, when I'd say about aliens, like, no, listen, it's dimensional beings, and he would be a bit blunt like that. Like, just listen. I know it comes across rude, and I said it was rude, but it's the way a lot of these people at that age speak, and they come across. They don't hold back. They say it as reminds me of my granddad.
Because they've been persuaded to do so, or because they've been mind controlled by Nordics to let you come?
okay. I have to say, really, I don't know. And I really
Fascinating.
don't know.
I love that.
Okay?
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. I would say that that's probably how you got, actually, I didn't just mean here disclosing, but actually here talking to me, because I'm usually the most dangerous woman out there. I mean, to tell you the truth, that's my reputation. So somebody letting you talk to me, I mean, I know the Nordics are cool with me. So now I know why you're here, because,
You just answered it.
all right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, while we're still not believing the gates to open, I drive this truck through a massive base that's covered with trees. You can't see the sky, okay? You can't see where this tall building is that Von Braun's tower is.
Right.
I finally get to this. I drive right up. There's 3 levels of steps going up if you come as a guest. But you can go into the back and drive in the back and get in there. So tell me why, you tell me why 4 security guards come down the steps carrying.
Listen, it's just nice for you to join and share a little bit of time. I don't expect you to watch the full lives. I know a lot of people have lives and stuff like that. But yeah, these lives instantly get uploaded as soon as they are finished. So please drop back, drop a comment, and finish off the live and drop a comment. That's all I ask for. Thank you for joining us, DCYZ3YY. God bless you. God bless you too, pal. Take care. Have a good night.
A big rectangular dolly with 4 wheels. Okay? I haven't said anything to them. They come over to the truck.
Right.
I'm out of the truck. They take the boards off the side, lay them down on the concrete. They pick up this model and they of everything is outside. The checkout of the facilities and every part of the whole program is out in an environment with the doors open in a hangar.
Okay, are you trying to tell me that because that it was somehow camouflaged and so people wouldn't look or couldn't see it, or?
No, I'm saying that our contract required us to do all of the assembly and checkout of our stage, which is the controlling stage of Apollo, in an open hangar in the worst atmosphere that we can do it on the planet, because the humidity at this location
So why
is
was it like that? I mean, was yours, are you saying you made a redesign from that? Or
I
is that
said,
your design?
I said to Dr. Debus and Dr. Von Braun in my briefing that I don't want to check, I don't want that hangar that you want me to check my stage in. I want, well, first of all, you guys with the V2s in Germany, roughly 68% of the time when you check it out and then you lift it, there's problems with your own V2s. So I'm going to check out my vehicle, first of all, in an inside closed area in the vertical position. And I'm going to keep it in the vertical position till I pick it up and put it on top of the lower stages.
Okay, but I want to know why, if the Nordics had this amazing technology and they were helping you and feeding you ideas for Apollo, why was Apollo so rudimentary? Is there a completely other Apollo that we never saw? Because we know that things happened on the moon once they got there, and you said, you know, and I want
To apologise. The internet went down, so I was updating something, so it cut my internet off. So I'm back on now.
to talk about all that. But you know what I'm saying? In other words, you're still talking about this module that has, you know, is basically a rocket. You know, it's like a tin can. That's old technology. Why did they let the humans continue with that kind of a design?
They could do what you would say would be a partial assistance to a country, and maybe we say they used the United States, okay? Now, the Germans had been playing with rockets, liquid rockets, for way before World War II, and even World War I, okay? So they have their command center, the launch center, underneath the ground with concrete above it in a silo, an underground launch silo with a periscope up on top. They can look through. I said, we're not going to do that. I not only want my vehicle.
Yeah, it cut me off. The internet just went down, like midnight update, whatever, and yeah, it cut me off.
Checked out in the
But it's carried on from where I was thing, so I kind of like that from YouTube. It's not actually just cut it off and uploaded it. It's actually waited.
Vertical position and assembled that way. But I'm not going to use your underground launch facility for my cabinets full of support, checkout, and launch equipment. I want a facility which will be a closed facility to assemble all of the stage and check them out. Okay? So my proposal to Debus and Dr. Von Braun was build a vertical assembly building, people. Okay? Oh yes, it will be the biggest facility space-wise of any building on the planet. Who cares? This is what we need. I got from checking out the German V2s in Germany in a horizontal to a vertical and then encased in a white room. And actually, my proposal was a white room atmosphere.
Right.
Air-conditioned atmosphere. Because we were playing with advanced circuits and rocketry and communication systems that nobody had ever done. So the chance for something to go wrong was astronomical. And what I presented to Debus and von Braun was not just buildings, completely changed the whole checkout and launch at the Cape for production launches to the moon, okay? So if you remember in that book, Selected by Extraterrestrials, there's a drawing in there that shows Cape Kennedy, Complex 39, and then a whole bunch of complexes all the way down this side for Launch Complex 39s, and then circles down here for these massive truck facilities to haul up all the equipment to build a 10,000-man naval base on the moon underground.
Okay, yes, but did this get built the way you wanted it to?
It finally did, yes.
Really?
The facility got built exactly the way the four major changes to the Apollo program came out of 170 guys in a engineering area called Launch Complex 39, which we designed at Douglas, okay?
Okay, but you're still not, you didn't answer my question about the technology. So you're basically saying, because this is interesting, you're saying that the Nordics have some limitations in the way they help, in the way they interfere with planet Earth. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Okay, you're getting complicated, your questions, but we have to step way back.
Proposal.
Again,
See what-
not really understood by the public, okay?
Proposal.
Yes,
Gutted
there
about that.
are
'Cause I like this.
Federation facilities
Don't know where I'm going to go
out
next
in
week.
the
No
galaxy
idea.
where other extraterrestrials get together
Yeah,
and
cool.
there's many
Spend a
different
week or two in
missions
Scotland
for
somewhere.
many different types of programs. But we'll talk about one of them,
Needs to stop
which
smoking again.
cruises the galaxy.
New
And
shop.
it has as
New
many
shops.
as 30 different extraterrestrial civilization people on board. It looks like the moon, okay? But it's a planet. I mean, it's not a planet, it's a vehicle,
Right.
okay? So this cruises the galaxy.
Is it a Dyson sphere or not?
The what?
Is it called a Dyson sphere?
That's one term, but actually, we're getting more complicated. I need to answer your question. When we got to the moon, we found out a lot of surprises, okay? The Draco reptilians were already there. And we knew because we had probes when we went, non-manned probes that we sent around the moon. So we knew there were facilities on the backside. We knew a whole lot that people didn't talk about. But we were in a position where this moon is not a moon, okay? It's not your moon in the first place. Actually, this is not your planet. This is their laboratory, okay?
Right. Okay, the Dracos, you mean, or the reptilians?
Draco reptilian slash
Okay.
reptilian.
And I'm going to ask you what they all look like and all that, you know, at some point.
Okay,
Because I know. Okay, let's get to when it was. Was it Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, and he said that thing that you heard him say, and Michael wants to get real specific about this. So basically, there were 7 huge craft there, and you said on one of the shows out there, you said that the reptilians actually showed up beneath their craft and they gave the finger.
okay, they were parked around the side of the,
On the
crater, okay? They were not parked on it, they were
Right.
floating above it.
Okay, yeah.
So there were hundreds of these 9-foot reptilian guys standing with their legs.
Hundreds.
Yeah, they were all the way across the, underneath their vehicles,
Okay. so
standing
they're
on the
9
crater.
feet, and what do they look like?
They're ugly looking. lizard, alligator type people. They
Wow.
got the same skin as the lizards got,
Right.
okay? And terrible looking faces. But then they have the ability to shift and look like a human. All of them do, okay?
Okay, do you think Von Braun was a reptilian?
No,
You really don't?
There's only, what, 14 minutes left, so just hang in there. We're near the end.
no.
Okay.
Your president, yes.
Oh, what? Which one? George Bush Sr.? Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
and Bill Clinton and this guy you got just got
Obama?
rid of. Yeah,
Yeah.
they all were,
Right.
okay? So, and they all have this ability to make themselves look like real good-looking people.
And you're saying Trump isn't one?
No, he's not,
Well,
okay?
that's a relief.
And and he knows more about this subject than people realize.
Oh, excellent.
But trying to get back to your earlier question, these groups of extraterrestrial who work together but are at war with other extraterrestrials, okay, have these vehicles that look like a planet,
Right.
like our moon is a vehicle. It's a command center for this arm. Easiest way to look at this is to put your arm out like this, and you be the center of the galaxy, all the way out to here. There's 4 arms on our galaxy. One of those arms has a place here which is called planet Earth. You're not downtown where all the action is in the galaxy. You're out here. You're in the area which galaxies, as they rotate, throw off. Okay? So you're sitting here on the tip, near the tip of the Milky Way galaxy, you Earth. Okay? And what you need to do is visualize you are not Earth people. Okay? You are extraterrestrials, nice guys out there. So you know that this little planet is going to get thrown off, maybe not take a couple of weeks yet, but eventually it's going to get thrown off. So
So that's why this is happening.
this is why this is happening.
Okay.
Okay? And 2,000 years from now, we'll probably be picked up with another galaxy. We're just floating out there. And this goes back to the problem that we had before about the number of years that you can live. We'll talk about that later. But back to these command centers which operate throughout the galaxy to monitor bad guys and attempt to get them to back off.
So isn't Phobos one of them?
Yes. Okay. And so essentially we have nice guys in there and even some bad people in the same vehicle. And they discuss wars and disagreements and this sort of thing. But back in their own,
What was it dressed up as?
planetary part of the galaxy, they may be at war with 2 of the same guys that are in this together. So this is like a center
Right.
of information, sort of like a group of people who are trying to get along for certain specifications or certain events. Those guys control your planet, your moon, because your moon is a command center for this region of the galaxy, not just the solar system. That's small potatoes, okay? The thing that's sitting right in here, which is you call your moon, okay, is a massive control center for this whole part of the
That's
Milky Way
fascinating.
galaxy.
Okay, wow.
Wow. Wow is
What
right.
about Saturn? I thought Saturn was more like that.
Saturn has large facilities on it too, but those are other agendas for other people, okay? Some of which we have, okay? Because we have mining companies. Let's take North American Aviation. Los Angeles Airport. That's where North American Aviation is, okay? And you've seen.
No, I'm not planning on having a fancy dress party. In fact, I'm not planning on doing anything for 40th. More other people are more interested in my 40th than I am. I don't want to do anything. I'd rather just sit at home and do absolutely nothing. But people are like, "Oh, do you need to do something? It's your 40th." No, you want to do something because you want to get pissed. You don't really care it's my birthday. You just want an excuse to drink. I don't give a shit that I'm 40 years old. I really don't, and I don't want to celebrate it. And when I've been to a few 40th birthday parties this year, and I've not enjoyed it. I just don't really want to be there. I don't really like it. I don't really like partying anymore. I'm just a grumpy old bastard.
Block diagrams that are in my book.
I think it's because I see through the world, I see through people, and I just think, yeah, just waiting for the time for the planet to just explode.
Systems engineering really is what controls the secret think tanks, okay? Instead of a book or a document to do this, I came up with block diagrams. We have to have one of those. We're going to need one of these, and we're going to need this for just the start of the program. As we get into this, we're going to change the phases of it into 4 different phases: concept phase, definition phase, acquisition phase, and operational phase. So now that's a 10-foot long piece of paper that's a foot high, and it has every single block diagrams that are required to initiate that space program. Okay? Every single one is in there. So those documents then are used in different manners to develop ICBMs. So I came up with a concept for really space concept. The military then used those for development of ICBMs and other weapon systems. The initiation of that is to understand our position on our association with extraterrestrials. That's what the block diagram is for. All these events that have to take place to interface with extraterrestrials.
What do you mean? Okay, that's very complex what you just said.
It is very complicated.
So you're talking about yourself having a diagram, having been the person who creates a diagram that the entire sort of maybe all the militaries are going to follow, that's going to diagram out our relationships with these with the rest of the ET
we've
races?
used what turned out later to be a standard requirement, this block diagram thing, for every weapon.
We've only got 9 minutes left of this one, folks, and then we are done. And then it can go into the William Tompkins live section. You can come back to it whenever you want.
System that any of the military has, whether it's Air Force, Navy, Marines, doesn't make any difference. Your company designing whatever, go back to the Pentagon and you propose a weapon system. You're going to have to be, if you get that proposal, you're going to have to be controlled by this 375 document, which I came up with for the Apollo program, and I submitted that to Von Braun, and that was one of the 4 programs of changing the entire NASA program. Okay, so the first use of this was for ICBMs. I took that system and defined the entire Apollo program and the missions, because they had several missions. My group in the secret think tank came up with 44 separate missions extended to the year 2000, 1999. So the Apollo program was supposed to not just go to the moon, pick up the rocks, take the photographs, and come back.
Yeah,
The Apollo program was to take us out into our solar system, build naval stations on every habitable planet or its moon, okay?
Right.
And then the next phase was to go to the 12 closest stars, Alpha Centauri being the first, put naval stations, bases on all of its planets, except we stopped that one because it had 2 suns and the radiation factor was not, we couldn't do it. But 11 other stars, the 11 closest stars to you, okay?
And you're saying it's been done?
And I'm saying that's what we plan on doing.
Thanks, man. You're a little bit late. Like, it did cut off halfway through. Well, quarter of the way through. We've got a few minutes left of it, and then it's up there. So if you want to rewatch it, it'll be up instantly. Please check back to drop a comment. That's all I ask. And if you can hype it, that'd be great. And if you're not a sub, please sub. And make sure you hit that notification bell.
Okay, you planned starting with Apollo, and you planned
That is
up
the
to
Apollo mission.
1999.
No,
It was-
that is the Apollo
Oh,
mission.
that's just Apollo. Okay. Did it happen?
No,
It got stopped, right?
yeah,
And it got stopped by the reptilians.
yeah, they said no.
Okay, now this diagram that you're saying, this block diagram that is the militaries are all following, it basically is, in a sense, your design initially. It came through you, but it must have been downloaded to you somehow from the Nordics,
Okay.
saying what Earth people were going to be allowed to do. Is
Yeah,
that what it's saying?
okay.
What kind of weapons they could or couldn't build?
It was not for weapons. It was for us, and actually that's in my book.
Right.
It was for us to go out into the galaxy. Everything that's necessary to build a transport or a vehicle. Go out in the galaxy, have communications with other extraterrestrials out there, and set up businesses with them.
Right.
Maybe we could mine stuff for them. Maybe we had certain materials they don't have. We could market these.
Okay.
They may have things that we want to buy. Set up communications with other civilization people out in the galaxy. That's what the first block diagram was for, and that's what the mission was to have originally been, what we recommended. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, yes, Nordics put that stuff in Billy Tompkins' mind, and he runs with this ball. Okay? But you've got it in the book. I mean, that's what our thrust was. It was not military. Then the military picks up this document, and they run with that of every military program anybody wants.
Okay, but when you say the military picked it up, I mean, here you are kind of almost embedded in the military. You're dealing with von Braun and Diebus. Now, they're Germans.
Yeah.
Okay? So there is some kind of interaction going on between still Germany, the U.S., and then
Look at
Project Paperclip,
Yeah,
bringing
right.
over all the Nazi scientists.
Yes.
And at some point, we're being infiltrated. It's clear in your book that you, and especially your close friend that you worked with a lot, you used to talk in the dialogue of the book. You're always saying someone is interfering, someone is on a higher level trying to manage this situation. here.
Implement the situation.
Okay.
So you're having both white hat guys
Yeah.
out there, okay, and we got black hat guys out
Yes.
there. And they're both influencing us.
And they still are.
They have their agendas.
And they still are, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
As we're talking, they're still doing this.
Yes.
Okay? It hasn't stopped.
Okay, before we continue, and I want to take a short break, I'd let you drink some water. I don't want to leave this subject where Michael can ask his question, that he has, make sure that he got his question answered.
So we're actually, I just noticed it's one of two. So I wondered why the part I've not spoke about has not come up yet. So we'll do part 2 tomorrow if you want. We'll do a live go through that, but it'll be a bit earlier. Like I reckon about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Answered. about, again, back to Neil Armstrong on the moon and the 7 huge craft and all the reptilians standing there. You wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to back up for just a quick second. When Bill talks about classified documents not being stamped, that's absolutely correct, because that
doesn't even look like the same guy that I spoke to in the interview. It looks totally different. It was only like 10 years ago, this. That's insane.
is the procedure that Kelly Johnson followed at the Skunk Works in Burbank. When they were doing the F-80, the U-2 spy plane, the A-12, and the SR-71, none of those documents were stamped top secret. That was per Kelly Johnson, so you're absolutely correct about that.
Crazy, but yes, you're right. Yeah.
So, Bill, are we to believe then that you are the genesis of the vehicle assembly building at the Kennedy Space Center? You're the genesis for that idea?
Yeah, but that
Okay.
actually is for the NOVA program.
Okay.
Okay, NOVA vehicles. In the book, I think there's 7 of them in the one picture. You see 7 different types of NOVAs. You see the Apollo vehicle, it's over in the corner, it's a little tiny thing. Then you see these great big things that are 10 times the size of Apollos. Okay, those are all trucks. They're trucks to haul up boring machines for the moon, to bore into the moon, to find areas where we can do our construction of a 10,000-man naval operation and research base on the moon. That's what our Apollo program first phase is. Not just go to the moon and pick up the rocks. We were going to the moon to a program that actually operated, this is 1963, it was operational till 1999, okay? The moon, the Apollo moon program, okay? So, all these...
but it got stopped, and then it continued. I mean, it went black, I guess, is what happened.
Yeah.
But do you want some water?
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to take a short break?
Right, so let's just click on that a minute, see how long part 2 is. Okay, part 2 is an hour and 26 minutes, so more or less the same. So we will do part 2 tomorrow then. Tomorrow mid-afternoon, okay? Are we okay with that? So I'll put here part 1, because that's my thumbnail. This is not our planet. And he doesn't actually stay on that one. He says that on part 2, I'm guessing, because I didn't hear it in that part 1 section. So, folks, as always, keep your eyes to the skies, as the next story could be yours, and I will see you tomorrow. And I'm going to play you my song. Goodbye.
Figure this one out. There's a double. There's a third one. Oh, what do we got? Take a look at this.
Kenneth Arnold, lights flashing, 47 saucers passing, Roswell crash, debris field, Ramey memo half revealed, Project Sign, Project Grudge, Cold War skies, the radar buzz, Blue Book files locked away, Men in Black say no one saw a thing today.
Watch closely as a different U.S. drone drops a Hellfire missile on that fast-moving orb. The missile appearing to bounce off the object